I don't often do repairs in general, and I haven't done one on the channel for a long time, many moons. But the guys at Crimson HQ, we're still open, we're still fully functioning and social distancing, and the school is running and opening. It's all good. I just actually prefer working from home now. But they said they had something special for me, and that I had to do this on camera, and that I had to open it on camera, and it was a repair. And then this arrived. Burn it. Haha, yay! It doesn't feel like there's 3 guitars in here, but it certainly looks like it. Anyway, I mean, at this point, you know what's in here more than I do because it's probably in the thumbnail. But anyway, let's have a look. Oh. Okay. Crikey. All right. This is Baroque. It's broken. It's properly broken. Okay. There's not enough of a glue joint there at all. This is a cross between a guitar and a viola da gamba, or a viol, V-I-O-L. I studied at West End College the building of early stringed musical instruments with a focus on viola da gambas, which are incredibly cool instruments. This is somebody who's done that and crossed it with guitars somehow. So we have, that's cool. It's incredible. So we've got a 6-string with a piezo that they've filed down to go underneath. Okay. So on a viola da gamba, the frets are catgut, tied around the whole neck. We've got a D-shaped neck, for what that's worth. I suppose I'd call it a folk instrument. Where are we? Togaman Guitar Viol Bistro series. This is the first prototype. Okay, 2011 by Jonathan Wilson and Jude Wright, potentially. California. That is a beautiful tailpiece. Yeah, this all goes together. I particularly like, so the shape on the edge of this end of this fingerboard. It's called a fingerboard if it's a viol or a violin or something like that without frets. This has now actually got metal frets, so this is a fretboard. I'm going to phone the office and see what I'm supposed to be doing with this. One assumes the neck needs to be re-glued. On initial thoughts, okay, fine. You do not want to glue in anything where the bulk of your glue joint is end grain. Doesn't appear to be end grain actually, so they've put that on sideways. That's the neck block is in sideways, that's fine, but this is end grain. And that's tiny. This is far too tiny. Let's take a handmade acoustic instrument, send it to an electric guitar builder, who then proceeds to say, you need to bolt that together. This is going to need some structural reinforcement, I think. I'll be back to you in a little bit. Goodbye. The client just wants the instrument up and playable and solid, and the only way to get this neck joint solid is to either completely build up this whole area, make it much bigger, and then correspondingly dig out and make the tenon, the mortise bigger, and then glue it together, or bolt it together, because there just isn't enough gluing surface. There just isn't. So I have the go-ahead to bolt it in any way I see fit. I would like to do that from the inside. I'm not entirely sure if that's possible. Now, I have noticed there are a couple of nail heads or maybe the ends of screws coming through there. So I wonder if maybe he was trying to screw it in and it wasn't long enough, or is that just locating pips? Interesting. Ooh. Good solid chunk there. I haven't even looked at the back. Okay. Yeah, we've got a strip of flamed sycamore, some padauk, and then the rest is walnut. I'm assuming that's English walnut. Quite fancy making something like this one day. I'm out of my comfort zone, people. Haha! Awesome. I'm gonna have to come up with some custom way of getting a really long... Yeah, alrighty. I can drill from this side, which is fine, but I need a really, really long screwdriver bit. And essentially through this giant hole that the jack socket was in, I'm going to screw the neck in. I will clean it up. I'm going to guess that they've used hide glue. I need to get these strings out of the way as well. And then essentially, we're going to have 2 screws pulling it in place, which will be fine. Yeah. All right. Long screwdriver, extension bar, not long enough. One of the most important moments in my entire life was when I realized that pretty much everything that I interacted with on a day-to-day basis had been made by someone. And that if somebody could make that thing, then I could make that thing. Now, my initial thought was, yes, get a screwdriver bit, braze it or weld it onto something. I'd have to, figure out how to do that. I've got all the gear, I've just never done it before. And after fumbling around my drawers for a little bit, I realized that all I actually needed to do was get a bit of steel and carve a screwdriver bit into the end. I mean, it might not last huge amounts of time, but that will do the job nicely. Unfortunately, the only steel I've got is actually this stainless steel M6 threaded bar, but that's fine. So this guitar repair video has turned into a, hey, let's see if we can make a screwdriver video. All right? Yeah, I thought so. No long sleeves when you're working with a lathe. No dangly bits. A little bit hot, but hey. All right, I think that'll do actually. Fantastic. So what I want to do is essentially saw in 4 cuts, and then I will use a triangular file to go from there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to file 4 flats in place, then saw 4 cuts, then use a triangular file to get in there. Don't do this at home. This has got to be one of the least attractive screwdrivers I have ever seen in my life. I have a newfound respect for anybody that makes these things. It, however, does turn the screw, and I suspect that with the holes correctly drilled and pre-drilled, etc., it shouldn't strip itself. It's stainless steel. I don't think I'm going to need to heat treat it. It feels good. There we go. Not sure if this is too long or too short. What I am sure of, though, is it doesn't want to stick in here, and I don't have any way of doing that. So I'm going to actually, yes, I'm going to super glue the screw to the end of the screwdriver. Just lightly, tack it in place, and once I've screwed through, I'll be able to just pull it off and we'll be fine. Or we won't. We'll be fine, I'm sure of it. Let me know what you think I should have done in the comments below, please. If that could be... Oh, that's where it needs to be. Hello. Oh. It's actually a problem of depth perception. Ha ha! She's in. Let's just... There we go. The super glue has become untangled. Number one, she's done. The eagle-eyed among you will have noticed that I am still using an extension bar because when I chopped my threaded rod into two pieces, I picked up the wrong piece. I was too busy thinking about whether I could do this to do it properly. Yes, I'm mangling my references. Anyway, so actually what I needed to see was how far that screw would go through, and it looks right. I'm going to go back in there, screw it I'm going to do the other one, then screw them both through to their fullest extent. After all of this, I do not want them to pop out of the heel of this neck. Anyway, turns out, screw the screw into your soft workshop mat. And that's the easiest way to super glue it in place. And we just need it to hold on long enough to become located in the hole and twist it a few times, and then we're done. Okay. So at this stage, I've got the screws just poking out a little bit. I'm going to get the neck located and go from there. All right, so I have them marked out. So that one and that one. Now that I have those positions and I'm sure they're accurate, I can go in and clean up a little bit of the mess left behind. So, a little bit of hot water. Now, it's actually probably just a little bit too hot for this at the moment, having just come out of the kettle. But what I want to do is dampen down the hide glue that we have. It really is rather warm. But this is going to come away with less damage to the wood. Once it's nice and soft, we can scrape away excess, being careful not to remove any wood. That was not particularly fun, but it is necessary. You can't glue onto a layer of glue. So that's been cleared away. I've left the little bits where the wood actually tore away, but it's all clean and now also dry, which is a good thing. So I can glue this up straight away, ish. I'm going to drill pilot holes in the neck, and I want to take the screw that is going to be going into the thicker part of the neck out and find a longer screw for that, because we do want it to be as strong as humanly possible. I really do like the Cupid's bow on the end of that. It's a common thing in fine things. So here are the two screws. I've done a test, and we have a couple of different sized holes and I know they're going to be perfect, but not too tight. I do not want to be fiddling around with that. And I need to drill some holes now. If you put tape around your drill bit, then the swarf, as it's going up and exiting the hole, etc., tends to move the tape and knock it off. You want precision. Put a marker. We don't like surprises, so I'm going to do a dry run. Putting in the bigger screw to start with. Okay, forget it. I've been avoiding taking this off because I didn't fancy feeding the wire through again later, but I don't need to take the wire out in order to get rid of this. Okay, where are we? Yep, we're about there. Where the hell did that go? Ah, right there. All right, this is a tool handle that was patented in January 1868 by Miller's Falls. It's beautiful. And I suspect, haha, fantastic. I love it. Gorgeous old tool. If you fancy supporting me in a small way, go and check out vintagetoolshop.com, my side business and purveyor of all things nice. Let me know if you want to see more repairs. Or perhaps I should build acoustic instruments. Oh, let's just forget that happened. That didn't work because I had it on its side and I wasn't quite clamping. I'm avoiding clamping it up if I can. I want the screws to be the clamps, because if I clamp it up, I'm gonna have to make a call or two, and I would rather, well, I'd rather use the screws because that's what they're good at. Anyway, should be able to do it this way. It's all about whether or not I can see, you see. Okay, I have the screw. This feels much better. Oh, yes. Oh, and there we have it. Okay. Ha! I'm sorry, I've been told 100 times not to clap on video because it messes with the audio and the things, and then people could cry into their computer screens at 3 o'clock in the morning or jump and wake up their family. And I mean, that's it. We're there. I am... Even that one screw is going to be good. Now, I haven't changed anything about the original joint at all. And I've just pulled that wire all the way through the screw. I've been avoiding that the whole time. Come on. Yep, that's about right. One assumes I've literally never seen this sort of instrument again, before in my life. But anyway, come on then. Let's glue it up. Okay, fingers crossed my screwdriver stays where it is. I am not going to be using hide glue. This is as reversible. Well, again, even with the fantastic technology that is modern glues, this size joint would fail without the mechanical screws holding it in anyway. So if somebody ever wants to actually take this neck off again, then it's just a case of take the screws out and thwack it gently. Or one could steam it properly, etc., and warm things up a little bit and be done. But there we go. Okay, there is little to no squeeze out. There's a tiny globule there, which is ideal. This gold leaf here was put in place on both sides in order to hide the joint, I would suspect. It's the sort of thing I would do. And I wasn't sure how that would react to having the glue cleaned off. Screw the second. Okay, all right. Okay. It's solid. The glue is only going to make it more solid. I don't have any squeeze out. I was worried. There's this gold paint, gold leaf, is there pretty much to hide the joint, I would say, or at the very least distract the eye. I know this because it's the sort of thing that I would do. Anyway, the most amazing thing is I do not have very much squeeze out, which is a good thing because I wasn't sure how cleaning up any glue off that would, fare. I doubt I'm ever going to need that screwdriver ever again in my life. Okay, so the final thing to do is I just want to clamp this bit down super gently. This is the Crimson Guitars mini neck rest, and it may as well have been designed as a clamping caul for that. It's absolutely perfect. So neck rest there, clamping caul, that's a sanding block. I don't have enough hands to hold that in place like that. Hold on. When in doubt, masking tape. Always masking tape. Okay, that's going to come off in a second. That goes there. That goes there. There. Let's go and have dinner now, shall we? See you tomorrow. And we're back. I came in and declamped her over the weekend. I needed my bench. Prior to putting her back together, and while she is in a state of undress, I'm going to clean up this well-used and well-loved instrument. Crimson Guitars fretboard and finish cleaner. I've done a test patch in a small out-of-the-way area, and it doesn't affect the finish, which is exactly as I thought it would be. I'm just very gently cleaning off any muck and detritus. Now these frets, I suppose they technically are frets actually, are very, very interesting and could do with a little bit of work. So we're just going to go straight to the super fine fret rubber, and I'm just cleaning and polishing as I go. Now the beautiful thing about this is that it's fine enough that it's not abrading the fretboard. All it's doing is cleaning it. Back to the cleaner. And while I'm about it, I'm going to use the fretboard and finish cleaner to clean the strings. Yuck. That is 2 passes. Musical instruments are not particularly clean. More to do. Tis life. So here's the interesting thing about the bridge. You've got pencil marks saying where it's supposed to be, and you've got witness marks from where it ended up. I'm going to assume that where it ended up was correct. Whatever you do, if you have an instrument like this that has a soundpost, do not string it up when the soundpost is not playing ball. Come on. There we go. Do not string it up when the Soundpost is not in place. Whatever you do, don't do that. This thing sits between the top and the back, and both strengthens things and pulls it together and pushes the vibrations from the bridge to the... there's a witness mark from where I think this actually goes. Yeah, it's integral to the whole thing, and the instrument is designed to have this in. It is not designed to be strung up to tension without this. Now, interestingly, this does not have a notch. With violins and tools like that, you have one of these things. Violins and instruments like that. And it's got a place for this to sit in. I suppose a notch is the best thing. And you use that to position the tool, the post, sorry, and push it in. Tools and instruments and posts are apparently interchangeable in my world. Anyway, I need to figure out exactly where this is going, and yeah. It should be underneath one of the feet. Oh, there's a plate for it, actually. But yes, it's underneath one of the feet of the bridge. And there is the corresponding mark on the back. And now I have that. Well, I'm going to assume he just put it in by hand, since there's no evidence of a tool mark. Huh. I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay, the Soundpost is too small to be in there without the tension of the strings on it, and technically, I don't think that's an issue. It is nearly 2 decades since I built an instrument like this. Although working on this has got me thinking, hey, I kind of fancy doing something along these lines. The issue is that everything that I do, everything that I think about when I'm building an instrument or repairing, restoring one, is what about the player? And if the player takes all of these strings off, this is going to fall out, and he's not necessarily going to know where to put it back. Although I assume he's had to do this a couple of times now. And if he forgets to do that, then there is a chance that the top will just cave under the pressure. I was going to make a joke about my mental health there, and it's just no joke. So I am not going to make a whole new one of these. There isn't a point. There is no point. I'm just going to put a couple of pieces of veneer to make it just long enough so that it sits in place while the instrument is not under tension. So I'm going to build up a couple of these, testing it with each layer to see where we're at, and then once I'm done, filing away. It only needed 2. Still, that's 1.4 millimeters too short. Perfect. So that wire sits on these 2 ebony bits. This tailpiece is my favorite bit of the entire instrument, apart from maybe the frets. I don't know, it's gorgeous. Okay, so with instruments like this, once you've got the strings vaguely lined up, it's wanting to pull that way a little bit, but that'll sort itself out. You lean it back, because as you tighten the strings, it's going to pull the whole bridge forward. So I've got a gap under there, and it'll move forward in a bit. Poop, 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 poop. Do what you're told. Fiddly ass instruments. I'm enjoying this one. I've brought it up to tension-ish. It has yet to be tuned. I just want to see how it's reacting. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. Now, I need to get this wired up again. I really should have just done this prior to putting the tailpiece on. But to be frank, I forgot it existed. I'm too excited to see it come together. This is a very, very cool instrument. Okay. She's coming to life. Short scale length. No. So this is tuned, it's sort of a baritone, it's in B. It's taken, well, the camera's been off for about 3 hours now. The bridge was in very much the wrong place. Very, very much the wrong place. But that's all fine and sorted. The intonation is as close as I can get it without remaking the bridge entirely, which is something I could do if I really... I have rarely had this much fun setting up an instrument. For one, I had to learn how to play it. It's been nearly 20 years since I touched a bowed instrument, really, and I have a problem. I desperately want one of these. I think I'm going to have to make myself one. There's several things. The bow is very interesting. The bow is carbon fiber with no adjustment whatsoever. It is permanently under tension. I can only imagine how difficult that was to get the tension right straight away. And this is not like a guitar. With a guitar, you've got the frets stop the string, and that's your intonation point. These metal fret lines are where you are supposed to put your fingers. If you put your fingers in the scallops, you're off pitch massively. So that's in the scallop. This chair is wrong. I really, yeah, it's so cool. It's a cross between the Viola da Gamba, which I really enjoyed playing back when I was at West Dean, and a guitar which I've always really enjoyed playing. Obviously, I don't know any tunes or anything, but feels so weird and so cool, and I need one. I need one in my life, most assuredly. If any of you need one of these in your lives, well, obviously go. This is the first prototype from Toga Man in March 2011, so they may still be in business. I'm assuming they are. Oh no, there's an image on this, and in the image, he's holding it like a guitar, which it's a different instrument in the image, but no, not at all. If any of you want one of these, obviously check them out. And if anyone wants to commission me to build something like this, give me a shout. I need one of these in my life. So I think I'm going to be doing one for myself. Just for fun. I mean, I don't need one of these in my life, but I really do. My old teacher would be crucifying me for my bowing technique at this point. I've completely forgotten how to do all of this. Thank you for watching. Please click like and subscribe. If you want to see more content like this, not the playing, the repair stuff, give me a shout. If you have an interesting repair and you want to see me do it, I will consider it at this point. I've been putting them off for years, but you know, I quite enjoyed this. Yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. This is an incredibly interesting instrument. Oh, by the way, the neck's not going to fall off again. It is 100% solid and in there, and I'm very happy with that. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Goodbye. I'm really holding that bow wrong. Hold on. And the traditional way for a viola bow is just, you put your fingers in it somewhere as well. in this. Ah.